Can you believe we're almost halfway through 2023? Like, what happened? Where did the time go? Man, what a trip 2023 has been so far. There have been so many gacha releases over the course of the last 4 months, including the Honkai Star Rail and Kudo's Wuthering Waves global beta, which, FYI, I am going to be streaming both today at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Twitch. Come on over and join me if you're curious about either, you just want to hang with your old pal Stix, or you want some epic drops. Now, May 2023 is right around the corner, which means new gacha games are going to be releasing. New gacha games are going to be entering into various different forms of test phases. And new gacha games are going to be opening up pre-registration periods. So, with that in mind, what new gacha games do we have to disappoint us in May? That is what we're here today to find out. Every month there is anywhere from 2 to 10 new gacha releases. Gacha gaming has become quite a lucrative market, with studios pushing out more gacha games than almost any other type of media. With this in mind, if you enjoy staying up to date with what's releasing, and more specifically this series, make sure to like the video, leave a comment telling me what gacha you're looking forward to, subscribe to the channel, and hit that little bell notification. Oh, and also make sure to check out the last episode in the series at the end of the video, in case you missed something last month. Before we discuss what's releasing this month though, I just want to take a moment here to quickly thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon. Your guys' support is why I can continue to make videos like this, letting you know what gacha games to look forward to. And I deeply appreciate you all being there for me. Now let's jump in and see if we can't find something to waste some time in this month. Quick disclaimer, I do plan on doing dedicated videos for every single gacha included in this list that I haven't yet covered, so stay tuned for those. I have been a massive fan of Soulworker ever since it released as a PC MMO so many years ago. I've thought every incarnation of a Soulworker title since, which have all been utter garbage mobile MMOs, have been abominations and an absolute disgrace to the franchise. But hey, if studios need to make money, I get it. Nevertheless, Soulworker Urban Strategy is the newest title in the larger Soulworker world, bringing players back to the same cities, featuring the same monsters, the same cast of characters. Honestly, this is probably one of the most unoriginal titles in this list, and perhaps one of the least original games released all year. Banking on nostalgia and hoping fans of the intellectual property, however little remains, come back for yet another round of how long will it last this time. Urban Strategy features, much like every Soulworker game before it, an action combat system, and is set in a post-apocalyptic world overrun with monsters, with mankind's only hope resting in the hands of a bunch of schoolgirls. Soulworker Urban Strategy is open for pre-registration on both the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store right now, with an expected release date in May 2023. I know you guys have watched at least some of Is It Wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon. I don't know if you've ever played any of the games though. I honestly haven't. I don't typically tend to really play games, gacha games specifically, that are based on popular intellectual properties. I feel like they're always more or less the same kind of game, just with a different selection of characters. Whether DanMachi Battle Chronicle functions the same way remains to be seen, but from what I've seen online, players are somewhat curious for the game. Graphically, the game doesn't look half bad, and it seems as though the game takes place in the same world as the anime, featuring scenes ripped completely from the series. Battle Chronicle also seems to be a full action game, with you possessing direct control of your character, being able to move them around, and attacking without a target. DanMachi Battle Chronicle has pre-registrations currently open, with a confirmed release date for May 23rd, 2023. Although they haven't met a single goal yet, not even their base goal of 100,000 pre-registered players. At the very least, as of recording this video, that isn't to say that they won't hit their goals in the future, but it is definitely somewhat foreboding. Angel Fantasia is a game that I actually know very little about. It was revealed a couple months ago and has moved through the stages of development very quickly. Unlike the majority of other titles in this list that are either strategy or action titles, Angel Fantasia is an idle RPG, meaning you recruit some hot waifus, you formulate a team, and then you let them kill things with very little in the way of interaction from you. Which is fine. These games have their place, and there are some out there that are actually quite good, like Eversoul, which genuinely surprised me. Angel Fantasia has been accused of using AI art for their characters, along with their promotional art for the game, and while I can't say with any kind of certainty whether that is in fact valid or not, I honestly wouldn't put it past studios to replace hardworking artists with AI art. It's cheaper and it's faster. And there are quite a few news articles online that are alluding to the fact that there are already plenty of indie studios that are doing this. Angel Fantasia utilizes a mix of both 2D and 3D graphics as players embark on a journey to probably save the world or something, you know, the norm. There's nothing really standout or exceptional about this game. It looks like it could be maybe some fun to burn a little time in, but there are honestly better alternatives out there. Either way, pre-registration is open on the Google Play Store right now, with a release date speculated for late May 2023. Aether Gazer is a game that realistically needs no introduction. This has not only been one of my most anticipated gacha games of the last year, but also many of yours as well. Unfortunately, the game got delayed repeatedly in an effort to improve on various aspects that both players and the studio believed needed improving if Aether Gazer were ever to realistically compete with already established action RPGs. Yes, Aether Gazer is an action RPG featuring missions, chapters. I guess think Punishing Grey Raven or Honkai Impact. While Aether Gazer stands out on its own as a distinct, unique game, they're the easiest comparisons to make for people that are interested in the kind of game that this is going to ultimately be. Aether Gazer does have pre-registrations currently open for interested players, amassing over 400,000 pre-registrations already since opening to the public, with a full release window confirmed for May 23rd. I can't say I'm really too fluent in the world of IDOLY Pride. I know absolutely nothing about rhythm games, let alone rhythm anime, but from the little Googling I did, IDOLY Pride is a large-scale multimedia project featuring a surplus of media projects, including but not limited to the anime, endgame, or multitude of games. IDOLY Pride specifically has you micromanage a group of idols as you attempt to grow them as artists, including their fan bases. You can supposedly find singers, dancers, and manage their bookings for events, which seems like a whole nother ordeal. And while all of this seems a lot like a simulation game, IDOLY Pride is actually more of a battle RPG if what people have told me is to be believed. It features an idle combat system, but there's supposedly quite a bit of combat present, which I'm quite curious to see. Global pre-registration is currently open, with a release date speculated for either late May or sometime very close. Aster Tatariqus is a game that I covered a couple months ago when it first appeared on my radar. It features a unique amalgamation of both 2D and 3D graphics, taking me back to the era of Fire Emblem, where the overworld characters were represented by 2D sprites yet in battle, and in the case of Aster Tatariqus, in towns, characters are fully realized in beautiful 3D. Aster Tatariqus, if I recall, is based on Arthurian legend, featuring a new take on King Arthur and Camelot. The game is a full strategy title with tactical gameplay like Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem. However, there's a lot more to do in-game than battle, such as freely roaming Camelot Academy, attending various different classes, studying, and potentially becoming a functional member of society. Every non-combat feature will take place in full 3D, interestingly enough. I genuinely think Aster Tatariqus is one of the more unique titles on the immediate horizon, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Pre-registration for the game's Japanese release are currently open, with a launch date speculated for May 2023. There's no confirmation of a global release at present, but that isn't going to stop us from finding our way into the game and experiencing it ahead of its inevitable English version. And that is everything. All of the gacha games slated to release either fully or into some form of test phase this month, at least that I'm aware of. I probably missed one or two. That's bound to happen with more obscure titles. And with the rate that new gacha games are announced and released, it is all but guaranteed. Nevertheless, these are the main games that I have been following. This isn't all there is to look forward to though, because if none of those games look like games that you would be interested in, I urge you to check out one of the two videos on screen right now. I'm sure you'll find something that you'll enjoy. Trust me, we have a very promising looking year coming.